Hello everyone, welcome back to the course. In the previous video, we have talked about how we can set up the projects using Apache Ant with our GitHub project as well without our GitHub project. So here in this video, we will talk about what is continuous integration, how you can basically use continuous delivery and continuous deployment in any CI/CD project. So as we are talking about Salesforce deployments, we need to talk about these before we actually go ahead and implement this CI/CD using any of these tools like Jenkins, GitHub, or Azure DevOps, Bitbucket, or any other tool which is available in the market. So let's quickly start with the problem statement first. So this is the problem statement. I am going to explain you. Suppose that you have three developers who are working on a single project and they are working on a bug raised to them. Okay, this is something which they are working on a traditional ways. They are not working on any other system. Okay, so what they did is they did push to the repository. All of these developers push their code to the repositories. Okay, in the repositories what they have is they have got integration issues, like because all three developers are pushing their code while integrating the code, they have got something called merge conflict. Or once they resolve the merge conflict, that is again the problem which we are going to get in the CI/CD as well. So they have got integration issues while doing the integration testing. They've got some issues. There is a If we have got integration issues, definitely there will be delay in the testing, which might be unit testing, that can be a user acceptance testing, that can be quality testing, it can be some sort of other like smoke testing or something else, right? So if there is any issues, there will be a delay in the testing, bug will be reported to the developer, and then developer is again going to work on the bug. The first thing they will try to find out, is it related to my code? Definitely, if you are getting a bug as a developer, first question that you ask yourself is this bug is related to my code? Do I need to fix this, or I need to tell some other developer to fix this? Okay. Again, the same process is going to follow. If the developer is going to fix the bug, then again if there is any issues, so what is going to do is this process is going to continuously repeat it. Okay, so developer is raising the commits, they are pushing the changes, they have got the issues, and this is going to be the like repeated work. And if we are doing delay in the testing, definitely when we are deploying the data to the production environment, which will be our end result or end product, we will be getting delay on that part as well. So this is basically the problem without using CI/CD. Okay. Now, if we talk about a very, we'll say that famous case study, which is saying that Nokia case study, which is continuous integration. Right. So let's quickly first talk about what Nokia was doing. They were doing a nightly build job, like we did in the previous video. What we did is we scheduled a job to execute in every 5 minutes. Okay, what Nokia did is they scheduled a job to execute every night. Okay, what they were doing is all the developers were working, and then they were committing changes to the GitHub repo throughout the day. Okay, so what they were doing is whenever the build server, they have some build server which were fetching all the changes from the GitHub and then doing all those build and compilation, and if there is any error, then the feedback to the developer was given. Okay, so what was happening is all the developers, whatever the developers they had, like number of developers, suppose that 10 or 20 developers, they were working on this, and then they were pushing all the changes to the GitHub repository. Whenever the build server was running, they were fetching all the changes throughout the day. Okay, not a single change, all the changes. There might be 100, there might be 1000, there might be 10,000, or sometimes 50 or 10 changes. Okay, build server is checking. If there is any error, that build server is going to give the feedback to the developers. Okay, now suppose that we have got 10 developers who are working on a project. They will see the error, they will figure out which is the error that is belong to them. Okay, now what will happen is, the problem is there will be large number of builds. Why the large number of builds will be there? Because all the developers are pushing and the build server is running only once in a night. Fixing the bugs. If we are getting the bugs, there will be a time taking process for fixing the bugs, because they have to first identify which bug is related to them. And again, this is a time consuming process we have already talked about. Once Nokia switched to continuous integration, okay, what happened? Now every time a developer is committing the code to the GitHub repo, that CI server, this time not build server, this time CI server, our Jenkins, our GitHub, Bitbucket, Bamboo, GitLab, or we've got Copilot, some other servers we are using. They will immediately fetch the changes. Okay, they will immediately do the validation. They will immediately compile the code, run the test cases, run some other unit test cases, run some automated test cases, and they will immediately send the feedback to the developer. If there are any issues, developer will get an email. Okay, you have sent you committed these changes. Okay, we have performed these checks, and this is where your code is failing. Please make sure to fix this. Now what is happening is, as a solution, a small number of builds. We have very small number of builds. Okay, fixing and locating the bug is very easy now, because every developer is getting notification for their bugs, for their commits. And then this is less time consuming. The reason why it is less time consuming, because we've got a small number of builds. Every developer is getting their getting notified, and they are easily able to fix those errors. So this was the all about the case study which Nokia did. Now we have talked about the problem statement, we talked about the solution statements. Let's quickly talk about what continuous integration is. Okay, so as we talked about continuous integration in previous video, they say that this is a practice followed by the developers, where they do post their changes, they do commit their changes into the central repository, which might be GitHub or any other source version control system. So that is what our continuous integration is. The developer is going to develop some features, fix some bugs, or uh, make changes into the existing files. They have to push the changes at a regular interval to either their branch where you are working, which might be developer, or it might be a master, it might be QA, it might be a feature branch, it might be a hotfix branch. They will be pushing the changes at a regular interval, which is called as continuous integration. Because why it is known as continuous integration? You are continuously integrating your changes to the remote repository, from where your colleagues, your other developers are fetching the changes, and you all are in sync. Okay, then we have got continuous delivery. This is including continuous integration plus automatic release creation. What it is doing is, you have done, like, the developer has committed the code using continuous integration. Now what will happen? The CI server is going to pick up those changes, validate the changes, run some tests, and if there is any error, they are going to send the information to the developer. If everything is okay, you can deploy the code with just a button click. So up to staging environment or up to testing environment, you can say QA environment, integration environment. For all these test environment, you can use CI/CD. Okay, so not CD. You can use continuous delivery with the help of CI plus other benefits. But if you wanted to deploy the changes to production, you have to manually click on the button to deploy the change to production. Okay. But when we talk about continuous deployment, we have got continuous integration, we have got continuous delivery, as well as production deployment. There is no manual intervention. So there are three things which are very important you need to keep in mind: continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. When we say continuous deployment, there is no manual intervention. When we say continuous delivery, you have to click on a button in order to promote your changes to your production environment. Now this is a pictorial representation which is saying continuous integration is going to build and test for both the cases. Okay. Acceptance test, we have deploying to staging, deploy to developer, testing, integration org. Then this is where continuous delivery is breaking. You have to click on manual deployment. You have to click on a button to deploy to production and then perform the smoke test. Like, smoke test is something which you are performing once you have deployed all your changes to the production environment. On the other hand, when we talk about continuous deployment, we have got acceptance test, we have got quality test, we have got user acceptance, then you have got deploy to staging, test, QA, integration. You can immediately deploy to prod if there is no issue on the previous environments, and then you can start invoke smoke testing from the same CI server using the continuous deployment. So this is how your continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment are related to each other, and the difference between these three uh, keywords which we usually hear in the real world when we are talking about the deployments. So this is all about this video. Thank you for your time, and in the coming video we will talk about what is pipeline, because that is also a very important concept. So we will see you into the next video. Thank you.